She was recovering from a grade 3 AC sprain, and the company tried to stay silent after a live stream where she used a homophobic slur. She had even suffered a full-blown panic attack before a major event, admitting that her confidence was shaken. These are 11 shocking moments involving Rhea Ripley that WWE never wanted the public to see, beginning with the homophobic slur incident. In April 2019, 22-year-old Ripley joined what seemed like harmless fun, a casual Twitch stream hosted by wrestling personalities where fans could donate money to receive personalized insults. The concept was simple. Viewers would tip around $15 and ask to be roasted in different styles, such as Australian slang, Spanish phrases, or other regional twists. These interactive streams were becoming quite popular in the wrestling scene, often connected to charity causes. But what began as lighthearted joking soon turned into a career-defining controversy. On the night of April 24, 2019, a male fan donated $15, asking to be insulted in Australian slang as a nod to Ripley's Adelaide roots. The response she gave that night would go on to haunt the early years of her career.
My confidence definitely was tainted a little bit.
The slur sparked immediate outrage, especially from the LGBTQ+ community within the wrestling fanbase, who saw it as a harmful reminder of anti-gay attitudes. Within minutes, clips spread across social media. The backlash was fast and fierce. Fans compared the situation to WWE's handling of Lars Sullivan's past homophobic posts, questioning why Ripley seemed to face less criticism despite her growing fame. Critics called out what they viewed as clear hypocrisy. Ripley's response came quickly less than 2 hours after the clip went viral. She issued an apology on X saying, "I know a lot of you are upset with me after tonight, but I just wanted to publicly say that I'm sorry. My brain-to-mouth filter slipped for a second, and I forgot that some words are a big no-no to many people." What stood out most, though, was WWE's complete silence. Unlike other high-profile controversies, the company released no official statement, apology, or punishment. The Twitch video was quietly deleted, wiping the incident from official archives, while fan-recorded snippets briefly circulated before being flagged and removed. Yet, as Ripley managed the backlash outside the ring, her toughest fight wasn't with fans online, it was with her own mind. The panic attack before WrestleMania 40 revealed the vulnerable side of the fierce mommy persona, a deeply human struggle that WWE never wanted their audience to see. Rhea Ripley's panic attack just 2 hours before her high-stakes title defense against Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 40 revealed the intense pressure that WWE's biggest stars endure behind the scenes. WrestleMania 40 marked a defining moment in her career as she defended the Women's World Championship on Night 1 at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, determined to prove herself as the top female wrestler after capturing the title from Charlotte Flair the year before. The match itself turned into an exhausting 18-minute classic, with Ripley successfully retaining her championship. But what happened backstage nearly stopped the show. During an April 2024 episode of The Insight with Chris Van Vliet podcast, Ripley opened up about the experience, recalling how she suffered a full-blown panic attack just 2 hours before her entrance, violently shaking from overwhelming nerves. This wasn't simple pre-match anxiety, it was a total physical breakdown, driven by deep-rooted confidence struggles and the crushing pressure of carrying the championship while facing constant online criticism. If you don't get nervous before you go out, especially at WrestleMania, you obviously don't love it enough, Ripley said, but she admitted, this time the fear completely took over her body. Ripley chose not to reveal the panic attack publicly at the time, keeping it an internal matter to preserve WWE's polished image of unshakable superstars. She found support from key figures backstage, including WWE Talent Relations executive Jason Jordan, who related to her struggle through his own experiences with performance anxiety. What happened next showed the incredible mental strength required to perform at WWE's highest level. The panic faded almost instantly once Ripley reached the gorilla position and stepped out for her entrance, accompanied by her live band dressed in white. Their heavy metal riffs powered her signature moshing walk to the ring, and as she recalled, all those nerves I had just sort of flew away. In that moment, she snapped into her fierce persona and entered the zone where she felt untouchable. The experience reflected Ripley's broader battle with confidence, worsened by toxic online criticism that targeted her promos, in-ring psychology, and booking in the months before the event. That panic attack became a defining moment, one that reinforced her resilience and inspired fans struggling with their own mental health challenges. She faced her fears and won. But months earlier in Oklahoma, the threat didn't come from within, it came from the crowd. During her entrance on October 16, 2023, at WWE Monday Night Raw, inside the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, an unexpected and disruptive incident occurred that WWE immediately tried to downplay and remove from their broadcast. The incident took place just weeks before Crown Jewel, where Rhea Ripley was scheduled to defend her Women's World Championship, making the timing especially awkward for WWE's production team. The episode was building momentum toward the Wrestlemania event, with Ripley presented as the dominant heel champion under her signature purple lighting and commanding entrance that always drew massive reactions. With over 12,000 fans packed into the arena, the atmosphere was electric as Ripley began her walk to the ring around 8:45 p.m. CST. Midway through her entrance, a male fan in the front row suddenly acted erratically, lunging over the barricade in an attempt to approach her directly. What made the situation strangely ironic was his outfit. He was wearing a black t-shirt with Dominic Mysterio's face on it, referencing his prison dom gimmick, which added an unintentionally humorous twist considering Ripley's on-screen mommy relationship with Mysterio. Security stationed near the barricade reacted immediately, restraining the fan as local Oklahoma City police were called to handle the breach. He was handcuffed on the spot and escorted out through the crowd while Ripley's music continued to play, and purple lights flashed across the arena. The entire incident lasted less than 30 seconds, but was captured in a shaky fan-recorded video that quickly went viral online. Ripley, ever the professional, stayed in character the whole time, glaring toward ringside as security removed the fan. In typical WWE fashion, the company chose to downplay the moment during the live broadcast, showing no replay footage on the Titantron. Commentators made no mention of the incident, and the production team quickly cut away from wide shots that showed the fan being escorted out to keep the segment's momentum intact. After the show, WWE's released no official statement, sticking to its usual approach of ignoring minor fan disruptions to maintain the illusion of smooth storytelling, rather than drawing attention to off-script chaos. Yet, as unsettling as that moment was, nothing embarrassed Rhea Ripley more than her comedic detour with the Robert Stone brand. Perhaps no chapter in Ripley's career has been more thoroughly erased from WWE's highlight reels than her strange 2020 feud with the Robert Stone brand, a lighthearted storyline that many fans felt clashed with her established nightmare persona. This so-called wilderness period came after her high-profile loss of the NXT Women's Championship to Charlotte Flair at Wrestlemania 36, when WWE's creative team placed the former 300-day champion in a string of mid-card comedy angles that sharply contrasted with her fearsome reputation. While the feud did showcase Ripley's range, letting her explore physical humor and self-parody, critics argued it wasted her potential and diluted her star power during a crucial stage in her rise. Robert Stone, formerly known as Robert Evans, on the independent circuit debuted in NXT as a sleazy and opportunistic talent agent desperate to rebuild his career after being publicly dumped by Chelsea Green on live television. The feud's most notorious moment came on the June 17, 2020 episode, when Stone, still portraying a disheveled mess, stumbled to ringside with a liquor bag during Alia's match against Jali. In a scene that became an infamous low point, Stone climbed onto the apron and vomited directly onto Lee, distracting her long enough for Aaliyah to score a cheap roll-up victory. The comedic chaos peaked over two key matches, beginning with the June 24, 2020 episode, where Ripley's dominance over the bumbling Stone was showcased in full. Before the match, Stone and Aaliyah attempted a sneak attack during Ripley's entrance, only for her to shrug it off and toss Stone into a nearby dumpster, his legs flailing as the crowd laughed. The feud culminated at NXT's Great American Bash, Night 1 on July 1st, 2020, in a handicap match with a bizarre stipulation if Ripley lost, she'd be forced to sign with the Robert Stone brand. The match leaned heavily on comedy, featuring Stone's hesitant tags, Aaliyah's desperate pin attempts, and Ripley effortlessly countering both opponents at once, including a memorable spot where she suplexed them simultaneously. Stone's in-ring antics consisted mostly of cowardly slaps and a botched figure four attempt, drawing laughter from the crowd as Ripley toyed with him like an overmatched rookie before finishing the bout with a devastating double riptide. Critics dismissed the storyline as silly and unnecessary, a far cry from her intense wars with Shayna Baszler, and many felt it made Ripley seem directionless at a crucial point in her career. The feud's conclusion came in a steel cage match on September 8th against Mercedes Martinez, where Martinez viciously targeted Ripley's legs with kendo stick shots in a more serious tone. However, after Martinez's defeat, Stone angrily fired her on the spot, ending the alliance and dissolving the threat entirely. Yet, if the comedy period wasn't embarrassing enough, a botched rescue attempt soon made Ripley look even worse. During NXT's golden era, one of the most awkward and unintentionally funny moments occurred on February 26, 2020, when Ripley completely fumbled what was supposed to be a heroic save during the main event between Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair. The segment perfectly captured the unpredictable tension between character presentation and live TV reality, creating a moment so cringeworthy that WWE has consistently left it out of their highlight packages. The match itself was designed to let Flair send a message to Ripley while giving Belair a major spotlight, marking Flair's first NXT TV appearance since August 2015. After a 12-minute contest, Flair's victory quickly turned violent as she screamed, "This is my house," before attacking Belair with a steel chair, trapping her ankle, and applying the figure 8 leg lock. About 20 seconds into the assault, Ripley's heavy metal theme blasted through the arena, complete with her signature pyro lighting up the stage. As the NXT Women's Champion and Charlotte Flair's upcoming WrestleMania opponent, Ripley's run-in was clearly meant to be a heroic "We Are NXT" moment, portraying her as the brand's fearless protector. But this is where the now infamous botch unfolded. Instead of rushing straight to the ring with the expected sense of urgency, Ripley began performing her full entrance routine right on the stage, complete with her slow-motion stomp down the steps, high kick pose, head banging to the music, and dramatic arm swings. The sequence lasted about 15 to 20 seconds, during which Flair kept attacking Belair without interruption, creating an unintentionally absurd scene where Ripley struck poses while Belair screamed in pain. The reaction online was immediate and unforgiving. Fans flooded Twitter with mockery, pointing out how awkward and mistimed the moment felt. Uproxx called it the worst moment of the night, joking that Ripley looked like a goober for doing a full WWE entrance animation instead of making the save. Cage Side Seats added, "Rhea Ripley came out to make the save, but casually did her entrance pose while Bianca was injured. Seriously, this was a bad way to go off the air." Years later, in a strange twist, Ripley overcorrected for that overly stiff image, sparking outrage once again, this time for a playful but divisive stink face that reignited debates about her on-screen presentation. The viral stink face controversy became one of the most talked about moments of WWE's 2024 live event circuit, centered on a playful but polarizing spot between Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax. It happened during a triple threat match on March 23, 2024, at the Bank of Springfield Center in Springfield, Illinois. What began as a lighthearted house show gag quickly blew up online, earning both laughter and backlash. Some praised it for its entertainment value, while others criticized it as objectifying, with even Becky Lynch, Ripley's WrestleMania 40 rival, weighing in disapprovingly. The match was part of WWE's post-Elimination Chamber tour, with Ripley defending her Women's World Championship against Jax and Shayna Baszler. Around the 8 to 10 minute mark, Ripley took control after a Baszler distraction, trapping Jax in the corner. With Jax slumped against the turnbuckles, Ripley turned her back, grabbed the top rope for balance, and delivered a series of exaggerated hip thrusts directly into Jax's face, a playful nod to Rikishi's iconic stink face from the Attitude Era. The sequence lasted about 10 to 15 seconds, complete with Ripley's signature laugh and a roaring crowd reaction. By the next morning, the clip had gone viral across X, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, amassing millions of views. However, the buzz clashed with WWE's ongoing efforts to promote women's wrestling as serious and athletic, prompting sharp criticism from Becky Lynch, who argued the stunt undermined the division's hard-earned credibility. Becky Lynch spoke about the incident in several interviews between March 28th and 30th, calling it a setback for women's wrestling. "That just sucks that we're talking about that," she said, expressing frustration that a viral clip overshadowed years of progress. Lynch explained that while the spot might seem harmless on its own, its massive amplification on social media reinforced outdated stereotypes and risked discouraging young fans from viewing wrestling as a skill-based sport rather than a spectacle focused on appearance. Rhea Ripley, ever defiant and true to her persona, fired back in interviews saying, "Am I not allowed to have fun? I get criticism for every little thing I do. You're just mad that I'm popular, that's why." As fans debated whether the moment was playful or disrespectful, Ripley was secretly dealing with something far more serious MEA hidden injury that WWE worked hard to downplay. And one of the company's most glaring examples of injury misrepresentation came after Ripley suffered a devastating accident during a fatal four-way match on June 6, 2022, at the Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The match, featuring Ripley against Liv Morgan, Doudrop, and Alexa Bliss for a shot at the Raw Women's Championship, became a prime example of WWE's long-standing habit of minimizing real injuries to protect its corporate image. The turning point came during an exchange between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, when Morgan hit her signature oblivion-jumping DDT. As the move connected, Ripley's body twisted awkwardly toward the ropes, with her right leg catching and draping over the middle rope, creating dangerous tension. On impact, the rope snapped back like a slingshot, causing Ripley's knee to whip forward and smash directly into her own face in what fan footage described as a freak, self-inflicted knee strike. Despite the brutal collision, commentators didn't immediately recognize the severity, keeping their focus on the match's pace. Incredibly, Ripley pushed through the pain, continuing to break up pin attempts and ultimately winning with her riptide finisher, showing no clear signs of distress, even though she had sustained both a concussion and significant dental damage. WWE's response was quick but carefully worded. On June 13, 2022, the company announced that Ripley had suffered a mouth injury during the fatal four-way match, ruling her out of Money in the Bank. The statement focused only on the dental aspect, deliberately omitting any reference to the concussion. A move consistent with WWE's tendency to downplay brain injuries due to liability concerns. The real story only came to light when Ripley herself addressed a fan on Instagram who questioned her absence, bluntly replying, "Can't see a brain injury." Her honest, out-of-character comment exposed both her frustration with online critics and WWE's lack of transparency, reminding everyone that not all injuries are visible and that even a hidden one couldn't stop her relentless edge. The shocking face-licking moment on the July 22nd, 2024 episode of Monday Night Raw marked one of the most viral and controversial acts of Rhea Ripley's career. Taking place at the Resch Center in Green Bay, Wisconsin, it served as a major turning point in her storyline with Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. What began as an emotional confrontation over Dominic's loyalty exploded into a jaw-dropping display of Ripley's dominance when she grabbed him by the face and slowly licked his cheek in front of a stunned crowd. The arena reaction was instantaneous, half disbelief, half exhilaration, as the internet lit up within minutes under hashtags like Rhea licked Dom and Chester Mommy Moment. The clip went massively viral across X, TikTok, and YouTube, dividing fans between those praising the audacious character work and others calling it gratuitous. WWE quietly avoided replaying the segment despite its huge traction, signaling how Ripley's willingness to blur lines between performance and provocation had made her both the most talked about and polarizing figure in modern women's wrestling. The Fanatics live auction lick incident on November 25th, 2023, became another unforgettable and highly scrutinized chapter in Rhea Ripley's career. Taking place just hours before Survivor Series, the event was part of WWE's official partnership with Fanatics, streamed live to thousands of fans bidding on exclusive memorabilia. Ripley, appearing alongside Dominic Mysterio to promote signed gear, leaned fully into her mommy persona, teasing, taunting, and playfully intimidating the host. The tone shifted when, during a lighthearted moment, the auctioneer jokingly asked Dominic if he ever got nervous around mommy. Ripley smirked, grabbed Dominic by the chin, and in front of a stunned audience, licked his cheek in almost the exact same fashion as her viral Raw segment months earlier. The room erupted in laughter and disbelief as the host struggled to keep composure, while live chat comments flooded with, "She did it again!" and "Mommy's unhinged." Within minutes, the clip spread across social media, trending worldwide. WWE quickly removed the replay from the official Fanatics archive, but fan uploads continued circulating online, cementing the moment as both a bold example of Ripley's commitment to character and a source of internal WWE controversy. For many, it symbolized Ripley's ability to blur the lines between kayfabe and reality, like no other performer of her generation. The shoulder injury in WWE's Damage Control marked one of the most dramatic, real-life twists in Rhea Ripley's dominant reign as Women's World Champion. On the April 8th, 2024 episode of Monday Night Raw, just 1 week after her WrestleMania 40 victory over Becky Lynch, Ripley was legitimately injured during a backstage brawl with Liv Morgan when a counter shove sent her shoulder crashing awkwardly against a wall, causing a grade 3 AC joint separation. Cameras quickly cut away as Ripley clutched her arm in visible pain, but fans immediately sensed something was wrong. WWE swiftly issued a vague statement calling it a minor injury sustained during a backstage altercation, avoiding details to maintain storyline momentum. A week later, Ripley appeared on Raw wearing a sling, fighting back tears as she relinquished her championship with the line, "This isn't goodbye. This is just a pause." Behind the scenes, WWE quietly edited all replays of the moment and restructured the division around Morgan's revenge arc, protecting their creative plans while downplaying the severity of Ripley's condition. It was a cruel twist of fate, the end of a reign defined by dominance, charisma, and viral chaos, halted not by defeat, but by the physical price of her own intensity. Initial recovery estimates of 3 to 4 months quickly proved optimistic as Ripley's rehabilitation stretched, far longer due to persistent inflammation and nerve pain. WWE moved swiftly to protect their corporate image, framing the situation as a temporary setback, while avoiding public acknowledgement of how serious the injury truly was. Internally, officials were said to be shaken by the freak nature of the accident, given Ripley's reputation as one of the toughest and most reliable performers in the locker room. The decision to have her vacate the title was made hours before the live broadcast, with Ripley reportedly insisting on addressing the crowd herself despite being advised to rest. Her emotional farewell segment became one of the most genuine moments of 2024, as she thanked fans and vowed to return more dangerous than ever. Behind the scenes, WWE edited out close-up shots of her visibly deformed shoulder in replays and highlight packages, opting instead for wide angles that maintained her aura of strength. What was meant to be a simple storyline scuffle instead became a defining moment of vulnerability, a reminder that even the most dominant champions can break. What followed became known internally as the merchandise meltdown, a behind-the-scenes conflict that highlighted the creative tug-of-war between talent authenticity and WWE's branding machine. Ripley reportedly grew increasingly agitated over the company's refusal to approve darker, edgier designs that reflected her true persona skull motifs, barbed wire fonts, and grunge-inspired imagery were routinely rejected in favor of sanitized layouts in neon pinks and purples. According to multiple production staff, Ripley directly confronted the merchandising department after being shown a prototype shirt that featured cartoon hearts and the slogan "Mommy's Favorite," which she called embarrassing and tone-deaf. Her frustration boiled over during a 2023 creative meeting where she allegedly walked out mid-discussion, stating, "I'm not Barbie, I am brutality." Fans later echoed her sentiments, criticizing WWE's tendency to soften her image for mass marketability. The tension only deepened when Ripley discovered that some of her fan-submitted concepts, gritty, streetwear-style designs, were quietly shelved despite strong online demand. The situation reached a breaking point when she rejected a proposed crossover merchandise line with Logan Paul's Prime energy drink, feeling it undermined her individuality. "I don't do sellout collabs," she later said in a podcast, solidifying her reputation as one of the few superstars willing to defy corporate conformity to protect her character's integrity. During her February 2025 appearance on Logan Paul's impulsive YouTube channel, tensions between Rhea Ripley's personal brand and WWE's corporate image finally erupted on camera when, as part of a cross-promotional skit promoting Paul's Prime collaboration with WWE, she was handed a mock-up Mommy Prime shirt, bright white with bubblegum pink lettering and a cartoon crown above the I. Paul joked that it was the perfect blend of energy and dominance, but Ripley's reaction was instant and completely unscripted. She looked at the shirt, stared into the camera, and said flatly, "You've got to be kidding me," before smirking, crumpling it into a ball and tossing it aside with the blunt remark, "I don't drink this, and I don't wear that." The clip went viral within hours, with fans praising her for staying authentic and defying WWE's corporate image, while internal reports claimed executives were furious over what they saw as a breach of partnership, leading them to trim the controversial part from the company's official repost. Ironically, the viral moment only enhanced her popularity as her darker Mammy for Life and Eradicator merch lines sold out within 48 hours of release, proving that staying true to her unapologetic persona resonated far more with fans than any corporate collaboration ever could.
My confidence definitely was tainted a little bit, which sucks because I try and keep it up and do my best all the time. I don't know if it was just something inside my head that just wasn't getting the picture, but I don't know, I got a little bit lost after that.
Ripley's dismissive response became instantly viral, and the public rejection went viral for its shade, with fans praising her bold attitude and refusal to conform to WWE's polished image, turning a simple promotional moment into a defining example of her unapologetic authenticity.
A lot about merch, and I have I think a good idea for you.
Okay, so you know how you say, "This is my brutality"? This is my brutality shirt. And this is the first kind of mock-up that I did, but...
You know, my dad would really love this shirt.
You could give it to him, but yeah, no, take the idea.
With Ripley quipping, "I don't owe you anything," before tossing aside Paul's design concept, the moment perfectly captured her defiant persona and mirrored the same rebellious energy she showed in 2022 and 2023 when rejecting WWE's corporate-approved merchandise designs. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes on your screen to explore more similar content.